we arrive at video 5,555. Some basic meanings of this number are: we struggle with disappointment and are defeated by worry. In the center or south of north above and below southwest is the east or west of south above with north of the southeast. Power is sensed and considered towards a purpose. My spiritual existence is full of spiritual experiences that I can remember and use practically. And honestly, you can tell by some of what I've related that even among that, I've really probably forgot most of everything before even writing it down, or otherwise relating it. Northeast, in all ways, are south above. 2, things are ever changing for us to respond in different ways towards understanding our being. Fret over failure. R, be discontented over strife itself. And in the scripture of this age, verse 5,555 is Surah 76, ayat 24. وَمِنَ اللَّيْلِ فَاسْجُدْ لَهُ وَسَبِّحْهُ لَيْلًا طَوِيلًا. And this isn't a prostration verse, but it's interesting that it's combined with a chapter 76 and 32 are often said in the morning, in the dawn prayer of the Friday, which 32 does have a prostration. So extra prostrations at night, extra glorifications, and glorifying the night through. Well, we don't have to stay up all night to do that. We can do that through our spiritual practices of sleep. And there's more to it than what I said in that video, by the way, but I mean, there's more you can do. And Surah 55, ayat 55. Babaya Allah irabikamatikadaban. This verse. Babaya Allah irabikamatikadaban. Then which of the favors of your Lord would you twain deny? Is repeated 31 times, which is interesting because it also relates to the number of the verses in the Quran. Well, I mean, if you're going to take something with the same number, you also have 31 verses in the Quran that mention the fire beings. So 1 Chronicles 15:12, I'm of course referring to something in Aramea that would have said this. And said unto them, ye are the chief of the fathers of the Levites, sanctify yourselves, both ye and your brethren, that ye may bring up the ark of the Lord God of Israel under the place I have prepared for it. Now there is use of the term Adonai, but presumably we're not. The Ark of the Covenant sounds like was some sort of an electric device, but you can pick apart any of these, the words, to give it further meaning, further use, look at the context, whatever you want to do with those contexts. 2 Chronicles chapter 3, verse 3. Now these are the things wherein Solomon was instructed for the building of the house of God. The first, the length by cubits, after the first measure was 80 cubits, and the breadth 20 cubits. And so some more generic things that we can look at that come to this. Sometimes you're going to see that the spelling is a little bit off because, people type these things in and then it gets listed as something with that number value among the searches. And her androgynous birth seals purity that saves every virgin man. I think there was only one seals here. Holy Spirit is a vermin entity that infests the cosmos with its feral creations. So sort of a deist sort of view, but sort of like a demiurgic sort of thing rather than a real creator. The star Sirius, an allegory of the inherent trickiness and illusory quality of the material world. Well, the idea that the material world is it, perhaps. Alex Jones, Alex Jones, Alex Jones, Alex Jones, Alex Jones. Any multiple of Alex Jones is probably going to show up in the server among something gematria, right? The world has gone out amongst the host of heaven that mankind knows the secrets of creation. Well, if you hide behind brotherhood and then use gemetrics, you are probably a gutless sellout. First, I would give her lump sum of money to pay for stuff and have peace in her mind. Her lump, like that Lovely Lady's lump song. So she's like a prostitute? Is that what they're saying? What is the counting of the Omer 2011 day 38? I may not be the real God Avatar, but the black nobility are a near ready to bow to the master. I can't help but think that whole black nobility thing's like some sort of psychological thing, or perhaps people chosen by certain people before it was, among the freed slaves or something. I don't know where in the world that whole thing comes from. I don't really see but Avatar, the sent one, all nations had their sent ones. It wasn't something of, God's just taking on this body and stuff like this. But the doctrines developed with time, and you can find this for yourself. When are the nice aliens going to show up? Still waiting, still waiting. Again, a lot of it's psychological, some of it's spiritual encounters, and people are like, but so why aren't the aliens physically making their show? The pentagram is only a diabolic negative when it's upside down. All numbers belong to the Lord. Well, it depends on what you mean by the Lord. Enki, is that it? Enki either refers to God, to Saturn, or its creation, Adapa, or the planet Mercury, Nebo, and Nimrod, and the post-flood Tower of Babel. Am is like a word for mother. Is that what they're? But we're mixing things together. So she's the sneakiest, meanest snake in the pit. Make her worship your queen, Taylor Swift. yeah, people have stopped worshiping new deities or something. Well, actually, no, they haven't. But a lot of people, they treat the state or the celebrity as their new god. If you think harmony is evil, why do you think? Who do you think was the being called Satan? If you starve your lover, he will burn in hell. For this earth is his too. It is Isis protecting her world while Yeshua in under protection love ISIS. ISIS standing for Israeli Secret Intelligence Service, according to a Mossad agent who said we needed a good sounding English name, kind of make it sound British. B, they, pentagon, pentagram, equilateral triangle, and hexagram in code 666. In geometry, a central roulette number. Only the instructor mentor, dead, Aleister Crowley, claimed there was no devil. You're too dumb to realize Gematria is mathematical proof of his existence. To separate me from bipolar idiots like yourself. Don't mention mental illness like it's a insult. Now, if you're going to think the best of people and say, well, okay, instead of saying that they're, choosing to be like this, let's say that they have a mental illness. Okay. Of course, bipolar is emotional. It's not, insanity is something else. Why would you murder someone who's committing suicide? Well, depends on why you would murder in the first place. Of course, don't murder, October 7th, 2013, C-SPAN, actually spelled with C's, pan, well, Corporation, NICE, SSW. Okay. The Freemasonic square and compass set to 47 degrees, transpose 74. Ninurta, Azrael, the perverted meaningless belt, slave of Inu, of I, thinks it is some special atomic calculating killing machine. The material world is a trick once you know, can be at peace with life and death. SWIFT stands for the Society for Worldwide Interbank Financial Telecommunication. Rubbish, the entity you claim is Satan, is no such thing. It is not my fault that people lust after evil. I finally figured out why God doesn't want any graven images of himself. Any graven images, period. Whether they're worshipped or not, that's what's actually saying. People need to stop acting, well, it's not, no. It's making the likenesses of these things, and you're not using like language. Obviously, some of these things, the letter A was a ox head, and the Y was the arm with the hands, and so that's not what's talked about. Hieroglyphs, that's something different. The occult beasts pretend to have morals and pretend to care about justice and truth. Yet, it's all lies. Your holy guardian angel is a satanic Anunnaki high 666 level being and will die in time. Well, the jinn have respite, but these male and female beings that respond to worship, or respond to worship as something that maybe shouldn't be worshipped. Yeah, but, okay. Too bad you people got to the gym. You are unable to train your mind as well. Dot, doth, taat, ta'ath, thoth, be as the knowledge, central solar plexus, chakras, the sixth sense, 666. The god beast careth not of female desires, but will instead magnify himself of his forefathers, and will not have, and will not honor the gods. Some confusing things running through people's head. Why I understand what some of these things are saying, even the ones that kind of jumble, but you know, the Freemasons' Bible tries to engender an artificial polarization to a chosen one against himself through duality. I think they just tend to use, slap a Freemason, that this is a Bible that has that a Freemason owns. It's not like they have I don't think there's even a different King James version of the Bible that only the Freemasons print. I could be wrong, but I know that there is more to life than working and making money and being depressed. I've seen the UFOs. Men gain gigantic stature when they put themselves above the law. God, please heal my heart. I cannot go on. I love you. God, thank you for the forgiveness I so badly need. Most people actually can't handle being told that, hey, you're one of the people of paradise. But that's actually a theme that exists other than referring to Muhammad. OK, 11 times 11, 1331 cube with 666 cornerstone inside. Everyone knows that Lorna's now positive. I am in need inside affirmations. You want to be trapped with an abusive, sadistic man for the rest of your life? Now, if someone's sadistic, or masochistic, it doesn't mean that they have to do or allow things that are violating the rights of others. That's just their feeling or their sense of enjoyment. Hate, screaming, and threats don't work. So I will just love you. You cannot become good to the world by constantly demanding ritual sacrifices of innocent children. Really, who's doing that? And a lot of people, they think, oh, if I become a Satanist, I'm going to have to do this. And it's like, that is where the people who do this come from. There's, that's where that stuff's coming from. It's not that it's inherent in those paths. Satanism is a wide variety of beliefs and practices. And it's the people who look at these conspiracy theories and decide, okay, maybe I'll get something for Satanism. And people contacted me and saying, oh, do I really have to kill my family? It's like, what are you talking about? Literally, more than one person has said that, and there's other stuff that's been said that's just, there's other ways to be evil if that's what they want. All through my wild days, I kept my promise. Please keep your distance. My mold existence. Okay. Well, that is it with this. But remember that you are the sage, or at least you could be. Don't just consult the oracle, direct the oracle. Or if you get your guidance for something other than an oracle, you're in charge of what you do with that meaning, with that message, what you believe about it.